Well, today the focus of my search is the BFRO sighting off Highway 6 near Spanish Fork. The area doesn't look, it's not super squatchy in the middle of nowhere. This is kind of one of those ones that's, I guess you could say, the edge of civilization. But there are some thick scrub oaks, and if you read the report, I'll post a link or maybe give you the exact number of the report. And in the report they describe some scrub oak, several patches of it, and this was a type A sighting, level A. They described a Sasquatch as heading for the stands of scrub oak very quickly in a hunched down position so as not to be seen very well. But I'll go and walk around here. If you look on the map, this side is very, at least in spring, this side is very green over here. They recently have a kind of a more rural subdivision that went in over here. Nice homes. But I would imagine up in there, you would think there's be activity. It gets drier further this way down the Spanish Fork Canyon, but I would say this is one of the wettest parts of right here. This is the north end of the mountains, whereas over here it's the south end, so it's much drier on this side. I believe it's Spanish Fork Peak eventually goes to the top up there. And so yeah, I think it was the creatures described, I guess you could say creature, was between 5 and 8 feet. They couldn't tell very well because it was hunched over. And just one quick evaluation here, and maybe it's just a tree that's collapsed over, but it's kind of interesting how you have it here. It's draped over this other tree, and then over here, right along the highway here, but it looks like it could almost be a little enclosure. I'm just going to go down here real quick. So if we come up here, yeah, you kind of almost have a enclosure here. It's hard to take it all in. Let me back up. Looks like we have some horse excrements or something. I wouldn't quite say it's a structure, but still a little interesting here. So they have everything draped over this side. The main tree is right over here, and then we get inside here. So we have this barricade over here, all this stuff in here. And over here. Anyway. If nothing else, it's a creepy configuration of a dead old tree. That collapsed. And then you have these others. Other trees over here, they're so gnarled, they look unusual. I wonder what does that, make a tree that's gnarled as that. Like this one over here. And these over here. Really green. We did have a good soaking rain yesterday that wasn't quite cold enough to snow in the valleys, and just got a free car wash out of that. And of course you're hearing the cars whiz along the highway at 65 at least miles an hour. This is kind of interesting over here. Bunch of debris. We have this kind of laid up here. This almost looks like it's arranged, because you have this piece over here and it's thrown up here, and I don't see that it would have collapsed from anywhere really. And this over here. I don't know, maybe somehow it did collapse. Maybe this was connected to that, and this, I don't know. Still, I don't know. This doesn't look like it really grew here, unless they sawed it down and just let it lay there. It's kind of a mystery. And we got this little piece just shoved up in here. See right there, just sitting there. Up there. Looks like it's placed to me, really. That one. Definitely placed. So, anyway. Maybe a combination of humans and I don't know what else. Humans, because it's, obviously some of this was sawed. Yeah, that would be Spanish Fork Peak up there, I'm assuming. If you were to go down the other side of that, you can go down Maple Canyon, I believe. And on that side is near where we did have a lot of structures. It's the one, if anybody remembers, the multiple structures at one area. One of them used a lot of rope, and it looks like it might be humans, but it's the one that Kevin found first, Kevin Sasquatch. And I didn't know that he had found it. I just kind of found it myself independently, and then someone pointed out to me that, hey, they'd seen that before. Kevin had been there, so I confirmed that with him. That same place. So that's the other side of the mountain, way down the other side. Okay, let's keep looking. Well, I will admit the trees and rocks and everything is kind of creepy looking around here. Everything looks like it belongs in a cemetery or something. So this is kind of like one of the stands of thick scrub oak that was described in the sighting. Over here too. I think they described one stand that was on a shelf, and then another stand and a shelf above that, and above where they parked. They were right by where they got out of the vehicle. The wife even mentioned she wanted to stay in the vehicle because she had this spooked feeling, I guess, spooky feeling, and the husband felt it as well. And then they saw the Sasquatch, then they left. So anyway. Some sign. So you can see around here, you know, this kind of stands out right here, and then happens to be marked with a mylar balloon. So if we go over here, and we have pretty much a blind right here. This did not grow here. You can see that, hopefully. Like these were placed as well. All this and the mylar balloon, and you're right by the highway. I mean, right down there is a highway, a train track, a creek, and you have the mountainside and power lines too. Looks like this mylar balloon's seen better days, but there's the remains of it. Something shredded it, whether the elements or something else. Notice we have a very high traffic area for deer. You can see their tracks everywhere. Looks like most of them are older than the last rain, because I don't see any fresh tracks. But you can see them skidding along this slope. So this would make a good ambush spot, really. Noting that all the deer that come through here. So I suspect that's what it could be used for. I'm not saying absolutely as usual, but it makes sense to me, so that's why I'm bringing it up. But I don't know. Look at it, it's kind of hard to jump out from that angle. I guess if you were right here, maybe extended part of it, you could do that. Anyway. Definitely would break up your profile. There's a nice view again over there. Sorry I keep showing this, but it's rather scenic. Hopefully you don't mind. So down here you can see, as I was alluding to earlier, the creek, which is orange with sediment, looks like right now. Railroad track, And then of course there's Highway 6 and the power lines you can also see too. Just so you know, I wasn't making stuff up, and not that that's an impossible claim, but I know I just made a video not long ago where it also featured canal, power lines, and such at the edge of civilization. Didn't want people to think I was just trying to do something similar just to make it up and say it. So anyway, there you have all of it. Okay. Just to highlight how dry it is on the side of the mountain, you actually have cactus here. You can see, well, despite there being some scrub oak in the kind of areas where there's shade, also have cactus. Wet side of the mountain, dry side of the mountain. View of Highway 6 from up above. Electrical stuff. Looks like the snow pellets seem to be getting more numerous. It's coming down harder. Fogging it out over here. Random pieces of what I assume is a deer scattered about. Not much of it left. That's a culinary water tank right there. I assume it helps the small development up there. World's greatest snow. Actually, this isn't really the powder, these are more pellets. Almost small pieces of hail, but they're too small. Not compact, really, so it's snow. Well, I think I'll go and cut this somewhat short. Go and have my equipment completely drenched. Although it is snow, it does melt somewhat. I wasn't going to stay out here that long anyway. I was just going to kind of do preliminary reconnaissance, I guess you could say, just to scout it out a little bit. Doesn't look like I was thinking. It's on the dry side of the mountain. It doesn't look that particularly squatchy in the traditional sense, but there is this thick scrub oak and these thick ground cover that could easily be used for, for cover, and that do have some little deer trails, what I assume are deer trails going through them for convenience here and there. And then we have scrub oak like over here. So this does provide some cover. You know, some of these are short enough that you're gonna be a Sasquatch. You're gonna be, you know, your torso up is gonna be seen at least. The scrub oak is taller though, and gets some cover, completely concealing yourself. There's all this power line stuff over here. It's quite a collection of it, and I guess that is the case on some highways. It's also true here. And it goes off that way. I wonder if I follow that, what I find down that path. I don't know, maybe try that another time perhaps. But again, it is a drier side, so I don't expect that there's as much timber for them to use, really. I mean, there's a scrub oak, but it's not that great for creating structures. At least it's not the nice, long, straight branches you can use for more complex structures. I'm just looking all around here at the tree line. Is that a deer up there? No, probably not. It's too stationary, but oh yeah, that is deer. I thought I saw something. I actually did not see the one that was behind that metal power thing. I saw the one on the right hand side with its head sticking up. I was wondering if that was a deer, but it was so still, and it still is completely stationary, that I wasn't sure until I zoomed in here and saw the other one. In fact, even right now I wouldn't know if it's one or not for sure, except for that other one that's more secluded behind the metal part. Oh, there's a third one. Yeah, they're all up there. So maybe this would provide some draw for Sasquatch to do some ambushing here and there and pick off a deer when it's hungry in winter or something like that, and step out of the cave or something. Okay, I'm gonna go and cut this for now. They know that I'm onto them, I think, because they've all frozen dead still in their sights. They're in my sights. Yeah, look how still they are now. You can see that one, he's trying to mimic the stillness of that metal structure. Oh yeah, they're still. This is exactly what Sasquatch would do. Unless they're swaying, they would probably get real still, and then they finally get up and move quickly. But notice what animals do. And they're like ghosts up there, they're so still. Oh, there's another one, he's joined them. So now we got 4 of them. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, that's all for now. And the rain, snow, sleet, hail, whatever you want to call it. So this trail I was on just kind of peters out right here in the tree line of the scrub oaks. And then you have like this little marker here right at the edge of it almost. It seems like you just notice little things like this. This little thing hung up in the tree there. Don't see any place really where it would have naturally fallen from. Maybe it did. I don't know, maybe up there. But anyway, so conveniently hung on that Y there. Where the Y was hanging. So that foot sole kind of announced rather odd find up here. We have a shed, looks like it was beat to a pulp. Obviously it's taken some gunfire, lots of gunfire, probably it's like pellets from buckshot and whatever else, 22s or I don't know, but definitely collapsed in, or was encouraged to fall apart. Rock on top. Some other accoutrements. I guess that's a water heater maybe. Huh. Okay. snows have let up. My card is almost used up. So here you have these power lines. If you listen, I don't know if you can hear it, but they're sizzling, not literally sizzling, but you can hear them because they're so high power. And then right below them you have this debris which has been kind of collected and knocked around. So that's pretty much, you know, it. There's not a whole lot of there are plenty of knocked over little trees and things, but nothing that is a structure per se. There's lots of stuff, you know, between Ys that you usually have, and things like that. Okay, that's all.